coach, Megan Gebbia, Patriot League champion. Congratulations. Can you just talk about today?
This was a hard-fought game by both sides. I'm looking at the stat sheet because I really don't look at the numbers that much during the game, and seeing that we shot 45%, 33%, and 100% from the line is what our goals were, is to be able to shoot the ball well. I thought it was a rough start, but I kind of knew that Bucknell was going to come out hot. That's how they've been all year. We had to remind them of that in the first media timeout, that listen, just settle in. This is how they attack games. And once we tied it by the end of the first quarter, it seemed to flow a little bit better for us. We never lost a quarter, which says a lot about this group and the resiliency of taking the lead, them kind of cutting into the lead, and then us regaining the lead by 10 points or so. So I think, for the most part, we executed what we wanted to do. But I tell you, Taylor O'Brien's such a tough guard in our conference, and Marley Walls as well. The two seniors on their team played extremely well for them, as expected. And I wish them the best. They've had great careers here at Bucknell, but just relief in the sense of we did it. And I know there was a lot of stats out there and things of us not losing at home, and that puts a little bit more pressure on us. But just happy that we could see it through.
Three players are on here: Emily Fisher, Jade Edwards, Taylor Brown. How proud of you? How proud are you for them? And just talking about their seasons, their growth, not just as basketball players, but as people throughout this season. So talking about that.
I think they've all had to make adjustments in whether it's being a part of a team or adjust their games according to what we need from them, game in and game out. I mean, I'm so thrilled to see that Taylor had 18 points today. She had been struggling for a while, and the monkey's off her back now. It's really nice to see that. I mean, her stat line's pretty amazing when you look at it. So she's had to make some adjustments. And obviously Jade has been forced to adjust this year based on people scheming for her and game planning for her. And she rightfully was like, okay, whatever you need me to do, we just want to win. That's all they care about. And she's built that way. Fish is just built that way. She's going to do whatever it takes. So I couldn't be more proud. I look at this and I say they had 11 of our 14 assists or 13 assists. That says a lot. They know where the ball's supposed to go. They know how to attack defenses. And they all buy into the defensive end. And we've been together since July. They all decided that we were going to come in July and start this. So we started practicing in July for this moment, to get us ahead. We were behind from last year because we only had nine scholarship kids. We had people opting out. We're like, we need to get this ball rolling earlier. They bought in. They came in the summer. They spent the time. We've been building our defense since July, and it's finally paying off.
Can you talk about the runs in the first and second quarter to end the quarter? You guys kind of had a lot of momentum. Can you talk about those runs and how important it was for the rest of the game?
I think it was, the runs are huge for Bucknell to start, but for us to come back, and I think it started when we put EJ in. She hit a three, and it kind of was like we could take a sigh of relief, oh, okay, all right, and get us back into the flow. I mean, I think that might be the only shot she hit, or she hit another shot, but still, it was more like, oh, okay, good. So sometimes you need that energy off the bench to get you back into it, somebody that's not afraid of the moment. Right, and EJ's not afraid of the moment. So I think that was big. And then just getting the lead going into half. Both times we played Bucknell this year, we've been behind at the half. So looking at the scoreboard and seeing us ahead made me relax a little bit too. And we just went into the locker room and talked a little bit about defensively what we needed to continue to adjust. Offensively, what we saw was open. How to execute ball screens and things like that.
I was wondering if you could talk about the chess match on defense. I know you guys just were switching and scramming, and you threw a bunch of different looks, and you were really successful in keeping the ball out of the paint.
Yeah, that was the goal.
So how would you evaluate your team's job?
Much better in the second half. I mean, I think they had 20 points in the paint in the first half and only 12 in the second. Taylor O'Brien makes that hard. She makes that real hard to do. But I will say, switching more. Keeping the defender in front of us was what we were trying to do. We went with 4 guards instead of 2 post players, which we've been doing as of late. And I think that helped us defensively a little bit. So I think that was big. I mean, we had, 8 points in the paint at the half. And we kept saying, that's our go-to. That's where we thrive. So now that I see we had 34, that makes more sense to me, and we're playing the way we want to play.
Was was also wondering if you could talk about Ivy Bales. I mean, she was 4-14, which I was surprised by looking at the stats, but I thought she had a huge impact.
She had a huge impact, especially on the defensive end. It was her task to guard O'Brien, and a lot of times she contested her well at the basket, got some tips on some things. She stayed focused. She started to lose it a little bit, and then we got to reel her back in so she can refocus. And she stayed in the game mentally the entire time, and it was good because, again, whoever we play in the tournament is going to be a huge challenge. So you need your defenders to be able to step up in the moment, and she did.
In addition to winning the championship, were there any other big goals that you had for your team this year?
Goals, you said?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, it's always a goal to try to win the first round of the tournament because this school's never done that. So that is a goal at some point. You know, if it's this year, great. If it's in the future, that's fine as well. But really, I was so focused on just getting this senior class to win the championship because it's so hard when you don't have a class ahead of you telling you this is how it's done, right? We felt like as coaches, we were the seniors telling them this is how it's done. And they listened. They bought in, they understood, and they executed. So, yeah, I mean, I felt like we checked the final box this year, but we'll see. You never know what the future holds.
So I asked your players this. I'll ask you, Coach. So if people are looking for an upset and they see American, why should they be thinking about picking you guys?
Well, it depends on what seed we are.
Yes.
I think that's a huge factor. And the matchups. I think when you get to the tournament, it's all about matchups. How well do you match up? What defenses do you decide to play? And can you score against those teams? I do think Fish is right. I think motion is a hard offense to guard if you've not gone through it before. A lot of bigger time teams run a lot of isolations and are not used to guarding a lot of movement. So that might be one thing. Our defense has to be there, though. If our defense isn't there or they can score easily, it's going to be a long day for us. So, you know, that's up to the basketball gods at this point. Like, I have no idea who we're going to play. So hopefully it's somebody we can match up well with.
Real simple question, last one for me. Coach, what are the emotions like right now? How are you feeling? Just talk about that.
I almost passed out during the game when I was yelling once because I'm tired. I think this week is exhausting because it's a week of stress for me, right? You're constantly thinking about the opponent. You can't sleep. I'm not eating. I'm trying to drink a lot of water. But it's elation. It's relief. It's happiness for them. There's so many different feelings that, you know, I was getting emotional before the game, actually, just thinking about this class and what they've meant to me. All 5 of them have meant a lot. And for us to do this with Fish's dad struggling, I'm so proud that she was MVP. So they could see that.
Taylor talked about freshman year when they lost this game to Bucknell in the championship games. He told you to make it back. How good does it feel? Do you remember that?
Yes, I remember it like it was yesterday. We were up in the stands. We were, you know, they had gone to the locker room, cooled down, came out, and we're watching Bucknell still celebrate. And they came up to me and they put their arm around me and they're like, "Coach, that's going to be us someday." And I said, "I'm going to hold you to it." And they said, "It's going to be us. I'm telling you, it's going to be us." So, you know, coming into this year, after last year playing 11 games, you just don't know what to expect because you didn't have all your people here. You didn't really get to grow last year. You just played. And so to see the growth from November till now has been huge. And I wasn't sure we were going to get there because we didn't have last year. So I wasn't sure we were going to make it, and they made it just in time. Just in time. Thanks, guys.
Congrats, guys.
Made me cry.
Coach, I'm sorry.